Annie. Welcome back to the agency. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty okay. I think still looking for work and childcare and those types of things. Yeah, my husband still doesn't have a job right now, so yeah, we're still working on all of those items.
Okay. So before we get started today, discussing some of the things that we talked about last time, I want to make sure that you understand everything that we talked about, and I want to give you the opportunity to ask any questions that you had about the mandated reporting information, confidentiality, or any of those are roles that we discussed last time. Do you have any questions about any of that?
I don't think so. I think I understood all of that. If like something were to come up, even though it's confidential, but it was something that you had to report, would you tell me about that before you would report that, or how would that process go?
That's a really great question. So if something were to happen, and you would express to me some of those concerns that fall under that mandated reporting, I would do my best to be as transparent about that process with you. In the past, I've made phone calls with the clients with me, so they knew exactly what we talked about.
Okay.
I'm not going to guarantee that I can do that in every circumstance, but I will do my best to be as transparent so that we can continue to work together.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Okay, great. Well, then going over what we did last time, we discussed maybe finding childcare, talking about some assistance that you and your family might be eligible for. And I think those were the two main topics that we wanted to focus on last time.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular one of those that you'd like to start with?
Probably finding childcare.
Finding childcare. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about what you're looking for in a childcare, what you need?
Well, since I have a part-time job now, like, it could be kind of on a minimal basis, but if I were to get a full-time job, obviously I would need a facility that would be able to accommodate a full-time schedule. I think the library where I'm at right now, they might have a full-time position available, so I would have pretty standard hours, but I would need a place that, would have really regular business hours.
Okay.
He's 4, so I'd like it if it could be some of the developmental, like, learning stuff, like not just a drop them off and they run around kind of facility, like a little bit of structure if possible. But again, since I don't know how much we'll be able to pay for it, I don't know how much that, I don't want to have it be like really bad place just because we aren't going to be able to afford like a Montessori school or things like that. But yeah, I would say stuff that helps him with like some playtime, but then also working with other kids and working on his developmental stuff. That'd be important to me.
Okay. So that's a really good start on what you want. When you're looking for a daycare, it's very important to figure out the things that you're looking for. I also think you bring up a really great concern. Cost, daycare and childcare is very expensive. And one question that I have for you right off the bat, is your part-time job at the library, do you have the same hours every day? Does it switch? What does that look like?
Right now it's every day. It's just in the mornings. And then my son was in kind of like a loose, organized preschool the time that I was there.
Okay.
Those times. But it was only just in the morning time. And then the afternoons I would pick him up and then we'd be together all afternoon and evening.
Okay. So one thing that it might be really beneficial for us to do is to fill out a child care assistance application, and that's through Department of Social Services, the Family Support Division. I think that's going to be a good place for us to start with a lot of other concerns that you have too, because whenever you can apply for child care assistance, and so the state will pay a certain percentage or a certain amount at each daycare, and then you are also responsible for paying what's called the copay.
Okay.
And there's no way for me to determine how much that will be, but I can absolutely help you fill out that paperwork.
Okay.
so that we can get started with that process.
Okay, that would be great.
Okay, so before we leave here today, I'll give you that paperwork and I'll explain how to use it.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
I think that developmental daycares, maybe Title I, and maybe even Head Start might be good. Those are going to use age-appropriate activities. Jake will probably fall into the regular Head Start from 3 to 5. And I actually know some people who work at Head Starts that can maybe help you finish the application.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay, and Head Start is based on income eligibility. So I know that your husband hasn't worked in a while, and I know you just got this part-time job. So we'll have to see if you guys fall into those guidelines. But we have a lot of options otherwise too.
Okay.
So on to the assistance. Have you decided if you want to apply for food stamps or TA?
I think we probably should.
Okay.
Go ahead and do that, because I guess my understanding is if I apply for him and then if it turns out that he gets a job or if I get a full-time job, we don't necessarily have to use them, but they would be there kind of just in case.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Part of that safety net. So,
yeah.
If you need help with buying food or with certain things that like cash, to help pay with a couple bills.
Okay.
So that process also takes place at FSD, the Family Support Division. So, and we can start that process today. I can help you fill out that paperwork too.
Okay.
I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty paperwork intensive here.
Sounds like
that's
it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then our the places where like I submit the paperwork is like all in the same building, or is that stuff that I mail in, or?
Yeah,
do I have to do like multiple stops to get all the stuff turned in and stuff like that?
The state of Missouri actually is pretty cool in that they have what's called the One Stop Career Center.
Okay.
And in that one stop, they have Family Support Division, Children's Division, Voc Rehab, and Probation and Parole even.
Okay.
And so you can just stop by at FSD and tell them everything that you want to do. So that would be the child care application, the food stamp application, TA. And what I would suggest doing is getting there first thing in the morning.
Okay.
And just staying and doing all of your interviews. Because they do what's called an eligibility interview, where you walk through the process that they'll look at your paperwork, and then they make some calculations to determine what you're eligible for.
Okay.
So that's going to be an important process to try and just do all at once.
Okay.
So that they don't lose any paperwork.
Okay. Gotcha.
So that kind of takes that puts us on a good path moving forward.
Okay.
But what are do you have any other concerns that are going on right now?
Yeah, I guess I feel, the job thing and childcare, those are my big ones, and it seems like there's kind of a path and a way to go for that. I think the other one I'm concerned with a little bit, because my husband still hasn't been getting a job or doing anything, so I don't know, are there, like, shelters around, or are there alternative places or housing that I might be able to move into with my son for a period of time if I feel we need a separation?
Okay, yeah. There are a lot of options for different housing. If you don't feel like you want to continue living where you're at now, there are temporary shelters, and then there's also subsidized housing.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest, the process for subsidized housing takes a while.
Okay.
A lot of people are on the waiting list.
Okay.
So if you want to do something more immediately, a temporary shelter might be a good starting spot.
Okay.
So what do you think about that?
I think I'd like some contact information for them, maybe.
Okay.
And then that way I can kind of talk to people and, some relatives and see if I can do that first, but then also just to know where that is, just in case. That'd be good.
Okay, great. Well, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get together the papers. And so this is the child care application, the food stamp application, and the TA application.
Okay.
I'm going to give these to you, and we'll walk through how to do these.
Okay.
So moving forward, what we'll do is schedule another meeting in about a week. You can bring in what you have done, and we'll go over it.
Perfect.
And then I can walk you through that process a little bit more clearly. Here's the business card for the shelter.
Wonderful.
You give them a call and tell them what you need.
Okay.
And then so moving forward, we'll plan on you having those applications done, and then meeting again to go over them.
Okay.
So, otherwise, I think that's a good start for what we can do now.
Yeah, no, that would be perfect, and I feel really good about where it's going. So.
Great. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
No problem.
Oh, I also have the agency is doing a client satisfaction survey. We want to make sure that the services that we're giving out here are meeting the needs of the people that we serve. So if you would like to, there's a survey here. You can complete it or not complete it.
Okay.
And drop it out front to our receptionist. There's a box out there. So whether you want to complete it or not, just drop it in there. Okay?
Wonderful.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Bye, Annie.
Bye.